So for some of you, this may be your very first session or second session if you went beforehand, so welcome. Hope you enjoy your week here. And in this session, we are going to be looking at BI and reporting in AX 2009, 2012, and D365. I am Emily Lusk from Ellipse Solutions. I'm a project manager, analyst, and trainer. And before working for a partner, I was an end user like yourselves. And so I love getting to speak to folks about topics that I would have liked to know a little more about when I was in your shoes. So I'm excited to talk to you about reporting today. And I have some folks behind me here. This is Mikhail Breitman. He's one of the owners of Ellipse, and he has an extensive history with AX. Basically, any job and any AX platform, you can feel free to ask him about. And on this side, this is Dennis. He's one of our architects, and he'll be answering any of your questions at the end. So when you leave here today, we hope you take away 3 key pieces of information. One is having a better understanding of the reporting tools available in your current AX system. Understand why certain tools are better for different situations, and take away some thoughts as to a path forward for your reporting in upgrading to D365. So a quick show of hands here to see what we're working with. Who is currently using AX 2009? Show of hands. A few folks. AX 2012. Okay, bulk of folks. And is anyone lucky enough to already be on 365? Oh, a couple. Okay, good. So we're going to be touching upon all of those today. We're going to be looking at each version of AX, talk about the available tools and when to use them. I do want to start by saying that there is no one reporting tool for all of your needs. You really need to look at your requirements as a business for reporting and intelligence, and then match those up with the tools that are available. So I'm mainly going to be highlighting Microsoft tools today, as well as heavily used tools, but there are many, many reporting products out there for purchase. But at the end of the day, you'll need to understand these reporting functionalities to be able to use any sort of bolt-on products. So I do want to mention a couple of third-party tools that we're not going to get into today, but that we do recommend. We recommend Bartender for labels, Atlas for Excel integration, Zap for large transactional data sets, Create Forms for custom invoices, packing slips, picking slips, order forms, things like that, and Scribe for inbound and outbound data integrations. So starting off with AX 2009, you'll get a little bit of history here as well. The majority of program reports were done using X++. X++ has 2 report design options. The first is called Auto Design, where you can kind of drag and drop data fields to be used in the report, which is a really fast option. But the user can't control the final design of the report. So if you want a certain field at the top versus the bottom or the middle, that may not be the best option for you there. But using the second option, which is generated design, it allows you to specify exactly how the report looks, and probably best to use for things like invoices and packing slips. In 2009, SSRS was newly introduced and only makes up about 10% of the out-of-the-box reports. When developing an SSRS report in AX 2009, you can do it in AX with X++. We do recommend using this because you can utilize existing methods already in AX. So things like unit of measure conversion, currency conversion that are already developed, you can use with your SSRS in there. If you develop an SSRS report outside of AX with SQL Server, you need to recreate all of those methods, and it can become pretty time-consuming and costly. Okay? A quick note about a few SSRS reports in 2009 is that the option for dynamically selecting criteria and fields to add into the report is not available. That functionality appears in 2012, which we'll talk about in a little bit, where you kind of select some field options. So the question for those of you on 2009, kind of which tool should I use to develop a report? And unfortunately, the answer is really either. Will work for you, but because of the upgrade path, you may want to consider using SSRS because of the easy migration if you're thinking of upgrading to 2012. For 2009 financial reporting, there is a tool called FRX. It is not exclusive to AX 2009, but can also be used with other Dynamics products like GP. When Management Reporter 2012 came out, it became the go-to financial reporting tool. Quick show of hands, how many folks are using Management Reporter today? Okay, sounds about right. Even though the earliest version of Management Reporter is called Management Reporter 2012, it does work with AX 2009. So if you're on 2009 and thinking you couldn't use it, you can. And one thing to note with Management Reporter is that it should be used for your audit level type reports. So these should be your month and year end reporting, not your frequent inquiries to check on things like cash flow, open invoices, things like that. For quick ad hoc reports in 2009, you may want to use the out-of-the-box tool called Report Builder. This can be found in your AX menu under BI reporting tools. And it gives the user access to business data and kind of a drag and drop option. One caveat here is that if you create and share this report, you need to set security access on each specific report. It defaults to letting everyone see everything. So lastly, I want to talk about exposing reports for 2009. You can post reports within the Enterprise Portal and in the Role Center. You can also use SSAS, which is the SQL Server Analytics Services. And this is those data cubes that you can turn on out of the box to have KPIs and other analytical reports. While it is out of the box, we do typically see some modifications occurring there because each company and industry has a little bit of different requirements and KPIs and such. So since the majority of you are on 2012, let's hop right in to talking about their reports. All out-of-the-box reports in 2012 use SSRS. If you're upgrading from 2009 to 2012, all of your X++ reports will migrate. In 2012, SSRS should be used for all of your on-the-fly reporting needs and customizations, so that's your go-to. In 2012, you also should be exclusively using Management Reporter for those audit-level financial reports. With Management Reporter, as most of you know, you have a breadth of financial reporting flexibilities, a robust set of features for designing and distributing. You know, add your logo, do your customization, or not even customizations, all your little configuration. You can spend a lot of time in there. Creating some beautiful, income statements, budget to actuals, so on. Companies also frequently use Atlas for Excel type reporting and imports and exports. In 2012, Microsoft also added the Excel add-in tool, which is great for things like loading in some journal entries or updating your pricing tables. But Atlas is continually making updates to their products, and we do recommend using them for some more complicated import-export needs. If you need to use data import-export, Microsoft recommends using the AIF functionality that's in both 2009 and 2012. The tool imports data as if you're manually entering it on the screen. This is really key because it's going to do all of the validations that you have set up in the system. So if you're forcing data in, it's going to look past those validations. But if you're using the AIF tool, it's going to look at, say, a customer number. If you have a certain number sequence set up, it's going to ensure when you push the data in using AIF that you're using the correct number sequence. And it will give you any error messages associated with it. That's important because you don't want to obviously mess up all your nice pretty data in your new beautiful and expensive systems. So keep it clean. We definitely recommend using that functionality. An awesome tool that you have in 2012 is starting to use Power BI. So Power BI, you will have to log in separately as a web-based platform for 2012. But you can start to save a lot of money in that customized reporting using that platform. You don't need a developer to make SSRS reports, and instead you can make those user-friendly, quick analytic reports, KPIs, graphs, and charts right from Power BI. Anyone currently using Power BI? Oh no, okay, I'm going to show it to you today and hopefully a lot of you will get excited because it is really awesome. I get very excited and passionate about it, so we'll show you that today. One downside to Power BI with 2012 is that when users log in, they may have full data access, so you want to create security roles within Power BI to limit that access. So just a little note for you there if you're using 2012. It's completely doable, but just a little extra note we want to mention. So like with 2009, you can expose reports with SSAS, Enterprise Portal, and Role Center. I do want to mention a common misconception with role centers. How many folks are using the Role Center to show data to employees? Anybody? Kind of? Okay. It is a really good place to get some data out, and so this probably goes along with that misconception is that if you assign a user with a Finance Manager Role Center, you can make adjustments to the KPIs and reports that that user is seeing. So you may, as a default, get some information that maybe your CFO doesn't want to see in their Role Center, but you can very easily modify what they're seeing. It's very flexible, so feel free to take a look at that and let us know if you have any questions. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is D365 reporting. How many folks in the next year are looking to upgrade? Okay, good show of hands. So we will go in and I'll show you a little bit of D365 today, but I want to talk to you first about the reporting piece. So the big thing to note is that out-of-the-box reports have been reduced by 30% between 2012 and 365 for operations. Don't get scared though. The upside is Microsoft is really promoting self-reporting and has moved to an integration with Power BI right from the D365 screen. So you can create all the reports that you need with all of the data from your system. Another added bonus is that Management Reporter is also integrated within the platform. And the label within the system is actually called Financial Reporting. So if you're looking within your GL area and looking for Management Reporter, it's actually called Financial Reporting. When you open it up, it brings up Management Reporter. A quick change to D365 for operations is that you're no longer using AIF for your data integrations. You'll be using data entities. Data entities are kind of a hybrid between the DIXF and AIF. But if you've created any custom document services, you can go ahead and migrate them to D365. So I'm going to talk quickly about a Microsoft roadmap that has been put out for 365. There's a full white paper on this if you give it a Google. But they've broken down reporting into two sides: the system of intelligence and the system of integration. The system of intelligence is using D365 for Operations as your business center. So it lets users proactively take intelligent actions all within that ERP experience. So some options of how you can do this within the platform is the analytical workspaces. And I'm going to go ahead and show this to you in a little bit. The workspaces help users navigate through interesting trends, patterns, make quick decisions, and take relevant actions, all without leaving the workspace. There's intelligent business processes, which offer suggestions and recommendations based on a combination of business rules and artificial intelligence. There's modern financial reporting. So this is the modern experience with the integration of Management Reporter, but also lets you on your financial statements slice and dice the ledger account balances on the subledger data, and you will have the ability to completely drill down across all companies. There's also rich and modern business documents. So documents such as your invoices and statements are an extension of your brand image. And you can use configurable rules right within the platform to be able to adjust the look and feel of it, as well as print, email, and send kind of rich documents that have all multiple styles, really whatever you need. And the last piece is solution templates. And these templates enable mashups of kind of external data from that IoT, the Internet of Things, devices and social media to get a pretty much holistic picture of your entire company. So on the other side, your ERP system might be an important source of data in your organization. However, your data might currently and possibly for the foreseeable future be spread across different systems. So Microsoft is calling this the system of integration option. In this case, you can integrate the systems by using established service integration principles. So you can go ahead and, as you can see in the picture, the ERP is not in the center, but more your data warehouses with your D365 and Power BI as peripherals. D365 supports the system of integration with some capabilities. The read-write option by using OData, version 4 specifically, and that has over 1,700 entities in finance and operations that are securely exposed for you. And although OData v4 endpoints can be used for reporting that uses Power BI and other tools for large volume reporting, we do recommend, and Microsoft recommends, you can also use that BYOD, bring your own data. You also have your data import-export framework, and so this is where we were talking about the data entities, and this is pre-built import-export templates that enable both one-time migration efforts as well as bulk data transfers. So again, these are all different tools that gets the data from D365 into your data warehouse, or kind of the push back and forth that you may need if you're looking at that integration option. So what we've gone ahead and done, and we've loaded this presentation up for all of you to access as well, is this is a summary sheet for you. And within the summary sheet, we've outlined the 3 different AX options, so 2009, 2012, and D365. And along the left-hand side, you have all different reporting options that you may need. And it just provides our suggestion of the type of reporting tool that you should use in these cases. Okay. Okay, so feel free, and I'll show you at the end how to go and get the slides so that you can do that. I see a lot of folks taking pictures, which is fine, but it will be there for you later as well. Okay. So we've also gone ahead and outlined some considerations for you to think about as you start looking at upgrading. If you're in AX 2009 and still using FRX, we recommend moving to Management Reporter as soon as possible. Your custom X++ reports will not translate to D365, so you may want to look at getting those moving. So while the standard reports have reduced by 30%, should be okay, but you may want to take a look, get your 30-day free trial and see if what you're using is still available or if you need to look at some of the ad hoc options. Sending and receiving data has been replaced by data entities, so take a look at that. And SSAS is still a good way to consolidate data from multiple sources, but Power BI will do the same. So you're able to create kind of that data warehouse with the legacy data, and then with your new D365 data, you can do it all within Power BI as well, and I'll show you some of that get data option that you have. Okay. So while I don't have enough time to show you all of the reporting tools, I do want to take a minute to show you Power BI. As I said, I absolutely love it, and especially if you're looking to go to 365, it's something that we want to get you comfortable with. And then I'll show you workspaces in 365. So let me take a second and pull that up. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see this okay? Kind of? Okay. It is not duplicating on my screen here, but that's okay. We can talk from here. So this is when I log into Power BI. This is my main page, so nothing super fancy here, just easy to navigate through. On the left side is really where you're going to be working. So you have your data sets, and I have only 2 data sets in here right now, just so that we're not confusing, but you can go ahead and get data to create data sets from anywhere. In the bottom left corner, there's a button called Get Data, and this will allow you to search out into your different AX systems. It will allow you to grab things right off the internet. So some people will pull in like your currency conversions and things right from there. So you can pull and get data that way, and then it becomes a data set. So if I go ahead and select, let's say, financial performance here, it's going to go ahead and pull up. It's a blank screen in the middle because it's going to let you, from your data set, start creating reports. So in the right corner here, you have different graphics. So if there's a certain type of report that you want to be creating, you can select the graphic first. So if I click on one of these. So I want to have a pie chart. And then you're going to see in the very right, this is all of the different data that's coming from this data set. And in these cases, you have the ability to expand, and you can get very detailed in the exact data that you want to use. And literally, you can just drag and drop from your data set right into the center to be creating the reports. So really easy to start dragging, dropping, super user friendly. You're not negatively affecting anything. If you accidentally create the wrong one, you can simply just delete it and keep going. Once you've created your report, and in the top here, there's a little button that'll let you pin and save your report. It will then go into your reports area. So I'm going to look at my financial performance reports. I don't want to save this one, that's fine. And it's going to show me the ones that I have already created. What's really cool is across the bottom, you can create lots of tabs, so it has a little bit of an Excel feel there. Create different tabs and have a report or multiple reports within each tab. And it can look like an Excel chart, or you have all these different graphics available to you. One item I want to hop back and mention under data sets is that you have these three little dots, which I'm not sure if you guys can even see there, but it will open up and let you select you can either remove the data set, you can also schedule constant refreshes. So if you're in 2012, but still using Power BI, you may want to have your data refreshing every so often. You can manually refresh it, or you can schedule, every night or every few hours that you want to do a refresh. You can also analyze all of the data right in Excel, so that's going to export and create one heck of an Excel file for you. And the last thing, which I think is really cool, when you get a new data set or at any point, you can select this quick insights. And Power BI is basically going to take all of the information from your data and create charts and graphs that it thinks you may want based on the data. So you may not even have to create the charts when you first start here. So if I click Quick Insights, it's going to pop up the screen to all different, takes a second to read all the data there. It will pop up all different graphics, and they may be KPI graphics, which just have one little number, or it may be, big graphics like what we're seeing in the middle here. Quick Insights. There we go. So as it creates, there we go. So, one click of a button with your data set and the system is creating all of these different graphs for you. And then you can even go in and specifically edit each one of these if you want to change it by a little bit, but huge time saver. Okay. And lastly, you have your dashboards. You can share dashboards with other people, you can share reports with other people, but you may just want to have a specific dashboard for yourself. So any of the reports or quick insights that you've created, you can pin to your dashboard. And that's where you really want folks looking, think kind of the Roll Center feel in 2012, where you're going and seeing all of the very quick, important information that you may want to see on a daily or hourly basis. So this is my financial reporting dashboard here. Okay. It's just a quick insight for you there. And now I am going to bring up D365 and show you a little bit of that system. Okay. So how many of you have seen this platform so far? Anyone? A couple folks? Okay. So this is the main look and feel on your entry screen. I'm in as an administrator, so I have a lot of workspace tiles. Depending on the security functionality that you have, the workspaces may be decreased here. Workspaces, you can perform the majority of your functionality right from here. And that's really the idea, is kind of your one-stop shopper screen, so to speak, to be able to function. So I'm going to go into our ledger budget and forecast. And from here, the whole idea of the workspace is, again, your quick information. So on each workspace, thank you. On each workspace, you're going to have to the left a summary section. So these default right from the system. They're out of the box. They're going to give you quick numbers and information of things that may be assigned to you. In this case, we have, budget forecasts in progress. How many may there be? Anytime you click on one of these, it's going to bring you to that information. In the middle of your screen, you have the details. So this is looking like your grid view areas from within 2012. Also, the same grid view feel in 365 here. And it gives you some default areas that you may want to use. In the top, when I was talking about that one-stop shop kind of thing, you do have the ability to create new budget entries, new forecasts. You have all those new buttons right on this screen. Where we start talking about Power BI is over to the right here. Sorry, can't even quite see that far. What we've done is gone ahead and under this Power BI section, I can select to add or remove graphics. This is going out to my Power BI system, looking at my data sets, reports, dashboards, and now I can pull in anything from there that I want to be viewing in 365 in this workspace. It's really easy to add and remove. You just simply click on that graphic. It will ask you the first time that you're logging in, it's going to ask you to, log in, authenticate yourself, agree to security, that jazz. But we're all set there. And then it's going to show me my data sets. And I can select from either data set, so you'll recognize those from Power BI. And then I can simply click in the upper right corner what I want to check off, which would add it into your workspace, or if I uncheck it, it would go ahead and remove. You can fit a ton of these on your screen. And it lets you, if I go ahead and cancel out of here, it's going to let you click into the report as if you were in Power BI and start slicing and dicing just as if you were in the Power BI spot. Also in your workspaces, to the very far right, you're going to have all your quick links. It may, there's always a reporting section that'll give you like your top 5 reports from the module that you may want to use out of the box, as well as any creations or setup pieces that may be critical to your everyday life within the module. Okay. So just a quick preview for you there. Hope that was helpful for you. And at this point, we do have a couple of minutes to go ahead and take some questions before we're done. So we have a microphone and have our architects here with you if you have any questions that you'd like to talk about reporting in any of the AX platforms. No questions? Okay, go ahead.